And always DDT, your Fortnite partner, and all the other crew.
Oh, that broadcast should be going now. You should mute. Oh, that broadcast should be going now. You should mute. Oh, that broadcast should be that going on. We got audio going
on
through.
YouTube.
Okay, Jeff, you're on. Go ahead and start the show.
Well, that's it for today, folks.
All right, I'm back on screen now. Jeff didn't know I was going to put him on. I'm not sure.
Well, I know how to handle it, though.
So that tells you that Jeff's in the Zoom session. The waiting room is turned off, so anyone else who wants to come in can come in. Good morning. Welcome, Live Windows Training. 11:01 a.m., August 27th, 2022, on a Saturday morning. And today's topic: unboxing, setup, explore a new Dell OptiPlex 7000. And that's for a client of mine. And I'm figuring there may be a few interesting things to look at here. In looking at recent comments on my channel, I'll bring that up over here, kind of guided my attention to something I had forgotten about. If I come over here to comments, there's this one comment in here that I've kept on here so I could make reference to it. He says, Kinetex, I don't know who it is, 19 hours ago, says, thanks for the video, helped me out. And there was this Windows 10 Home drive encryption on default. And I was thinking, what in the world was that about? I didn't even remember it. So I went into that video and watched it, and I realized that could be applicable for today. So that's this video here. And I put a comment in chat on today's video that I'm going to be referencing that video. So let's get back to today's video. If I find it here, and pop out chat and go say hello to people. Pop out chat. And I guess we also got to figure out where in the world Craig is, because Ken requires that of me now.
Chris?
Hello, Chris. Oh, I'm going to bring you up on screen here, Chris, and that's going to, because I need to be adjusting. Yep, I got that perfect. So wave hi to the audience, Chris. They see you now. Hello. Well, you could verbally say hello too, if you like.
Hello.
All right. Coming back to where I was at in the chat room. Let's see. Is that picture-in-picture going to be okay? No, I don't really want to do that way. I'm going to keep my face in the picture-in-picture. So I said hello to a lot of people in chat already. Let me make this bigger with Control+ sign to zoom in that browser window. Yeah, let's see. The ones that show me in yellow is me saying hello back to people, and I guess that's where I left off. So in addition to the ones I already said hello to, I think that already included Chris and Ken and BH and Darren. Greg Guy, hello. Josh Kinder, hello. There's Jeff. Sam Lazar, hello to you as well. And coming through, Dennis is DDT 2005. And Jonathan, hello. And Jim, hello. I'm going to come back and read those comments after I just acknowledge the people that have shown up. Zavi Manor, CFW, hello to both of you. Ran Israel, hello. And it jumped on me, so I went back up a little bit. Frankie B. William Dawson. Boss, hello. Gary Weisenberger, hello. Iowa Hank. And Rick Lakes, I think I said hello to. And that catches me up with the names that I hadn't already said hello to. So now let's go back to questions.
Say hello to Craig, wherever he is.
Craig, we out.
Craig from Craigslist. We can't find out who that is.
Yeah, I know. Ken has drafted me. Apparently, he wants me to spend 25 minutes trying to find Craig. The things that boy asked me to do. I don't know. All right, we'll get to his request here in a minute. Should be interesting today, an unboxing video. And actually, I think it's going to be more interesting than I originally thought it would be, because of when I went back and looked at that video that I did back in January. I go, oh yeah, I forgot all about that stuff. So I'm looking for question marks and people hitting me in orange. Maybe Doug will know where Craig is. Oh yeah, here it is, where Ken is saying, you should ask. And then he will spend 25 to 30 minutes researching while I drive home from dropping off Mrs. K. I won't miss anything. But if I do that, as Ken requested, if I spend the 25, 30 minutes, well, Ken will have missed that. And he's saying you should ask. So that makes me think that Ken wants me to pursue that subject. I don't get it. I don't understand Ken's reasoning there. Oh, for those who don't know, Ken and I just throw virtual punches at each other. Hello, Jonathan. Hello. Will you be bypassing the MS account crap, I assume? In this case, yes, because I don't want this client signing in with the MS account. And I ordered this with Windows 11 Pro because we are going to be increasing the security levels in this office during the next year or two. But yeah, we'll be setting it up without the MS account. But I'm also going to be wanting to look at the encryption, whether it comes with that encryption partially engaged, like that video that I did in January with an HP laptop. So I think that's, oh, here's 3 question marks. I want to go make sure, I'm going to do a Control F, search for 3 question marks. Yeah, this is the only one. You appeared after your Zoom guest. Yes, Dennis, I let my guest open the show today. I didn't tell him that I was going to do that. I had my fingers crossed that he was going to be good-humored, good-natured about that surprise. BBC saying hello. No, I know there's no other question marks because I already searched for them. Craig is like my cell phone, can't find it. So after I saw that request from Ken, I did come over here to Google and said, where in the world is Craig? So you can see there, it's up in my recently used searches, and press enter. How many places are Craig? Craig's World Circle, Craig of the Creek Wiki, Craig Morgan. So now we need to know which of those Craigs you want. So that's all I can do right now. I'm done, completed with that task. Did it much quicker than Ken asked me to do, but too bad, such is life. I have some other topics to deal with today besides this unboxing. 2 of them I kind of want to hold off on until Ken gets here. You know, these other 2, it'd probably be useful for him to hear those too. So I'm kind of thinking I'll go ahead with an unboxing, and maybe Ken just misses the opening part of that. That sounds good. Isn't that a good way to get back at Ken for his wisecracks? You guys are on the screen right now. See what you think about that. Should I do the unboxing before Ken's here?
Sure.
Jeff's no response. Craig's this is no response. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll take that as a yes. And then back. Chit chat between Sam and Dennis. Here's Dennis. Bypassing the MS count is easy with build 22,000. When 22H2 releases, it becomes more difficult, but not impossible. And then here's Chris giving us a link for Craig Newmark. Is that one of the Craigs?
That is Craig from Craigslist. I just found out.
that is the true Craig from Craigslist?
I remember looking that up before. I just forgot that I looked it up.
Oh, you're such a Doug for having actually looked that up. At least that's what Ken would say. Yeah, so there's Craig. Can you purchase him on Craigslist? All right. Somebody else came in to Zoom to check in and see, my buttons are working pretty well. Hello, Jim.
Howdy.
Right. Any comments to open us with, or should I go ahead and proceed?
Oh no, let's get to it. I want to.
All right.
I'm going to see if it's still going to give you trouble when you go to bypass the MS account thing.
All right. All right. Here we go. Let's go bring the box up. Let's see. I've also got a mystery package that came to me in the mail to deal with a little bit later. Sometime in the past, somebody asked me if I have a knife like Carrie Holzman has, and at that time I said no, because my knife, I have to push the button and open it. But then subsequently I discovered, wait a minute, I can do this. It just took me a little while to figure out that I got to do it really hard. So, whoopee. So, I did not pre-open it, obviously. I did open the packing list, which I got a chuckle out of the packing list because they actually identify on this list of things 3 pages. On the last page, that's not going to focus very well. I have to manually focus that. I'm just going to tell you what it says. You don't need to see it. M.2 by 3.5 screw for SSD. Actually listing on the packing list that they included the screw.
Yeah, they do stuff like that. They even list the CPU labels.
Yeah. Now, here's the keyboard and mouse box. Empty, because we ordered these without keyboard and mice, because all the staff in my client's office, they have keyboard and mice that they have specifically selected. We know they're not going to stay with the keyboard and mice that come with the computers.
Most of that stuff winds up being e-waste.
All right, unboxed. We'll switch to this keyboard camera to show you the back of it. The connections are, we've got 3 display ports built into the motherboard. We have no expansion cards. We got, looks like 4 USB 3s and 2 USB 2s. And there's an interesting thing here that I saw when I looked at the documentation for this. I'll probably show that to you on the documentation. Yeah, because you'll be able to see it there, but we're going to want to look at that. In the front of the computer, we got a DVD drive, because in this office, they get CDs for medical reports. This isn't going to an attorney's office. And so they find it very convenient to just have the CD drive built into the computer. And that's also partly why they wanted tower style case. They do not want cases that sit on the desk. Their desks have been structured all along to have space under the desk for computers. And the on top of desk space is at a high premium. So they did not want computers on the desks. Here we have what looks like a cover for a SD card slot that I'm guessing, I don't think we actually purchased the SD card readers because they don't need that. There's the USB 3 on the front, there's two USB 2s, and there's a USB Type-C on the front. Push that lever down. Pull the case off. Pull the side off, I should say. There you got the inside. Power supply down here. Proprietary, unusual shape power supply, as expected. Got two memory boards. My recollection is we have 16 gigabytes of memory. I showed the client what the next step up would cost, and they're expecting to buy about 35 of these computers over the next couple of years, and they wind up trimming the price down because they don't want to go. Well, they wanted to be a little bit budget. They can. We got a 512 gigabyte NVMe drive. This memory is what's the current? We recently went a little while ago. We went from DDR3 to DDR4. Now the new one is DDR5. I think these are DDR5. And we'll be looking at that configuration in a little bit. DVD drive up here. So I don't know if there's anything else we care to see or show inside the computer. I'm going to look and see if there's any questions, and I'll come back to Zoom and say hello to Gary. Hi, Gary. Gary, are you near your microphone?
Myself. Yeah, muted myself.
Okay, yeah. Hello, good to see you.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, there is a question here for the inside of the case. I'm going to come back up here and take them in order. Oh, Ken Saudi says he's listening. Give him 5 minutes. No need for MS account on a domain. We don't have a domain yet, but we probably will be implementing that over the next couple years. Frankie says go for it. So that's the unboxing. Let's see. Conversation between people. I'm going to try to skip over. Looking for question marks in orange. Sam says Dell is pretty cool brand, but costs a fair bit in Australia. Oh, the details of the configuration of this computer is in the description of this video. If somebody wanted to put together the parts list for a comparable custom built, I'd be curious to know how the price compares. And the price of this computer is in the description as well. And that was a bit discounted because we went through salespeople at Dell. When you call them and go through a salesperson and you're going to be doing a quantity, they do give some price breaks. Scrolling through, looking for question marks and orange. DDT dual channel RAM, that's a plus, yeah. Jeff is saying my HP NV 700 327 desktop, all standard parts except the motherboard is still giving me good service after 6.5 years. Cheap HP laptops aren't worth much. DDR5, yeah, Gary confirms that. Rand, can you zoom in on the NVMe drive? Yes, I will do that. Which SSD model in storage is it? And Sam Van Thiel says I can make a list real quick. So sure. All right. And let's get back to, he has to zoom in on that.
Only thing I see there, I think the power supply is a little light for adding anything.
They're always light in a Dell.
Yeah. Well, they're light by what you are accustomed to for configuring custom parts or custom computers. But I'll give a little bit of defense there is that Dell engineers, computer engineers decide what you can do. And when you change parts configurations on their website, they will
But if
tell
order
you.
with a graphics card, I'm sure it comes with a bigger
Yeah.
power.
Well,
Exactly.
and it will warn you that you can't, that is inadequate for this configuration when you're choosing something that's not a good configuration. And I've experienced Dell computers for a long time, and I trust them on that. Well, this is weird. I'm trying to adjust the focus, but this new update for XSplit doesn't let me see the image while I'm making adjustments to the camera. All right, so now I got to click on those adjustments, and you can't read that. So in order for me to see the NVMe drive while I'm making adjustments, I got to put it towards the top of the screen. Square it up. And then I'll be able to adjust the exposure as well to get that label, better exposure. That's not good. Do it this way. That's what we call zoom.
It's probably a Dell SSD M.2 anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't going to be any big surprise, is it?
Probably something like Kingston or something.
Hynix, probably.
Yeah, I think you can probably
there
read
we
it, but
go.
I can't yet because it's
There we
hidden
go.
from my view. There we go.
Samsung. It says Samsung in the upper right corner.
All right. I'm going to do, let's see, one other thing, adjustment here, partially just to see that I can do this. Oh, it went.
I tried to scan the QR code, but it's not doing.
Oh,
You can scan that.
Samsung 512, but which Samsung is the question?
It's not going to be in the 900s. It's going to be off-brand or off.
Yeah. Okay. MZVL25125. Yeah, it's probably a mediocre speed NVMe, probably somewhere in the 18 to 2100.
They have some even 1 terabytes like that. And Gen 4 too, also.
all right. So that answers that. Oh, let's see. Samsung OEM SSD from Sam Lazar, and IT is not a QR code. Okay. I don't see any other questions about looking at inside the computer.
I'm sure that's why I didn't scan.
I will say one thing with the Dell and HP power supplies in their business computers.
Yeah.
They never rate at 600 and 800 watts like the custom builds, but they also don't have to come out and fix them that often either. So
Yeah.
they seem to know what they're doing.
Oh yeah. I think so. And one of the things I was thinking we could do is plug in that power meter I have to see how much power this computer is even using, even perhaps when doing one of those benchmark tests, either for the video or the processor, and see how much power it's actually using. And Dennis says, can it play Fortnite? Yes, absolutely can play Fortnite. What Fortnite will do is it will adjust down, it will detect the capabilities of your computer. So it's not going to be as good. But yeah, I think it would do probably pretty fine on Fortnite. In fact, while I have this computer, maybe I'll just set that up off camera and then demonstrate it another time. Zivi says PSU is not standard and very expensive when you have to replace it after a warranty. Yeah, I've had lots of Dell and HP computers where when they go bad, I have to replace them. But I've always been able to order them off of Amazon. If I can't find them there, I get them through Dell or HP, and then I just charge that to the client. And compared to the amount of money that they spend on staff downtime, it's kind of a nothing burger. So I don't worry about that too much.
I mean, we can have somebody, like you said, next day business. I mean,
Oh yeah,
if you buy a hand built computer, you might as well buy two, because with this one you got somebody there tomorrow. And Dell is pretty good.
yeah,
Even
yeah, they
small
are.
business.
I have experienced that. I have placed the call and had them out the next day. As a matter of fact, my brother Stan, who's been on my channel on occasion, he used to be a Dell technician. Not directly employed by Dell, but he worked as for a company that was a contractor for Dell, and they would send him out, and they'd get the parts to him right fast, and he'd be out there the next day. Now, many times when I call for warranty support like that, I'll discuss it with my client, and we'll often forego the on-site service and just have them ship us the part, because my client would prefer that I install it at their convenience, at a time of their convenience. Whereas with the Dell technician coming out, you kind of got to comply with when they schedule to be out there. And depending upon the circumstances, that might not be desirable. There's a Ken Stout. Hello, Ken. He never says hello. He's mute. He's got a vocal problem. That's my understanding of it. It's like pulling teeth to get him to speak. And I'm still dropping hints that I want him to verbally say hello, and he's just still not getting it, because maybe a little dense there, or I don't know, maybe he's mad at me for picking on him back. Oh, there, he's unmuted. Hi, Ken. Nah, he's getting back at me now. Now look at that grin. He's starting to smile. He's starting to smile. He's getting, yeah, Doug's trying to get me to talk. I'm just going to sit here with this. Wow.
Doug, Jim, Jeff,
Hello.
Gary, Chris, Bill, Bob. Anybody find Craig yet?
Yeah, we did. We looked him up. We found him. You weren't here at the time, so you missed it.
I was listening while I drive in the car. I don't watch while I drive in the car. I listen. I heard what you said. I will get you back.
You will get me back. All right.
And I'll give you a little hint.
Yeah?
It's going to deal with your advertisement of today's stream.
Now, what about my advertisement of today's stream?
That's how I'm going to get you back.
Somehow with my advertisement of today's stream.
Yeah, you know the little banner you put up in the beginning?
Yeah.
With all your stuff, yeah.
Oh, I know what you're going to do.
I can't wait to hear this. Oh, please.
Oh, I know what you're going to do. You're going to take that image and you're going to do something with it in that video editing program you've been dealing with. Duranci, what's it called?
Da Vinci.
Cincy?
Duranci.
Raunchy.
I know it's Da Vinci.
You're on the right track. I'll give you that.
Ah, okay. See, I kind of getting to know you better, aren't I? Doggone it.
Proceed. Let's get on with the unboxing, setup, explore of new Dell OptiPlex 7000.
Well, I would do that, except that I've got to go turn the air conditioner on, so I'm gonna.
Thought you were going to say you had to go check the cake in the oven.
So I'm going to spot like Ken for everybody here for a moment.
Take that off of there. Oh my God. Joke's on him.
Somebody's. Oh, I see what you did. Somebody's got to be saying, do I have to separate these two from each other?
They'll start calling us Joshy and Alex.
Now something. Put that back to there and take off, remove the spotlight. Okay.
Poor
then,
Doug.
There are some other questions. PSU not standard. Yeah, we talked about that one. Selden, Lenovo has extra cost extended warranty. Does Dell? Yes, the default warranty is 3 years, and you can buy 1 additional year. And their service goes even longer than that. My third gen, and I don't remember if we did the extra year on this one or not. My third gen Intel build plays in performance mode adequately. Oh, he plays, I'm sure he's referring to Fortnite. i5 3570K B75 motherboard. If so, has it been considered? Selden was correcting it. Yeah, when my first pricing of this fleet of computers for my client did include that, and then they expressed that they want and need to trim down the costs. So I think we probably backed that out. DDT confirms Fortnite is what he was referring to. All right, so moving on along over here. Let's get, oh, you know what? I did not consider monitor. Got a wireless keyboard and mouse at hand, and this came with a power cord, but we opted for no keyboard or mouse. So one of the things that I had on my list to talk about was about half an hour before going live today. Where'd I put that power cord? You know what? I'll bet Candy grabbed it off the table when I wasn't looking. All right, I'll just borrow this one. Monitor is the thing that I need to get. I'm going to defer that story. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to connect that to a monitor. You know what? When I purchased these, I'm thinking now I didn't even look at what display connections they have. It has 3 display ports and nothing else. So that probably means for all their existing monitors, I'm going to have to buy appropriate cables. Some of their monitors will be display ports, some of them won't. And most of their computers, most of their desks have been upgraded to 2 monitors. I have the cables around. I have new monitors upstairs. Those monitors don't have display ports. I know I have cables around that and adapters. Let's see, that monitor has VGA and DVI. Am I going to have to leave you guys and go upstairs to get parts? That's a possibility. Oh. And I'm going to want to use my capture device, and it uses HDMI and DisplayPort. So HDMI to DisplayPort adapter should give me what I need. How about that? DisplayPort on that end, HDMI on that end. Good. Wireless keyboard and mouse. Dongle. Check my capture device button. There it is. Turn the computer on and see if I get an image. I don't see a light. I think the instructions said something about plugging this part into a power strip. There's a light. And the light went off. That makes sense. When you connect the power, modern power supplies will electronically partially power on, I guess you would say. Oh, Wintermute, I think you're right about that power cables in the keyboard box. Yep, that's it. I'll go with English today. United States, yes. Keyboard layout, US, yes. Add a second keyboard, skip. Connect you to a network. I don't have internet. Oh, by the way, these computers were purchasing them without Wi-Fi capability, so it doesn't even have Wi-Fi. Continue with limited setup.
Okay,
So
for now they're still using the older image.
find out what it is when we get there.
Well, the fact that it lets you go to continue limited setup tells me they're not using the build on it that forces you whether you're on Pro or Home.
Yeah. So do you know offhand, Jim, which version that is?
It might be the soon to be released H2.
Okay. Okay, soon to be released. So we don't have that released yet.
No, not officially, no.
Okay.
But OEMs tend to get it before the general public does.
Yeah. Okay. Enter your name. Now, I'm kind of tempted to tinker with this computer for a while, and then I might do a factory reset when I'm ready to rebuild it for my client. I'm not going to be using my client's name at this point. So we'll just call it user. Next, enter a password. I'm going to try it without a password. People let me do that. Yeah, it lets me do that. Choose privacy settings for your device. Find my device on a computer that's going to be in an office. No, I wouldn't do that. Location, I do like the idea behind that for somebody in an office environment. It's a fine thing for them. Diagnostic data, I typically choose required data only because I just want to reduce the amount of traffic that's going over. Inking and typing, no, I don't want to do that for the same reason. And tailored experiences, diagnostic data, excluding information about websites you browse to offer you personalized tips. Don't care to have personalized tips. Again, just looking for the computer to do less work. Advertising ID, apps can use advertising ID to, now I believe that this is only applies to Microsoft Store apps, but I haven't researched that. Does anybody want to chime in from the Zoom about that? I'm going to say you don't care. Apps can use advertising IDs, so I'll just say no to that. Again, having the computer do less work. And here we got somebody coming in. I'm going to say hello. Let's see. That is Zoom 7. Let's see. Yep, I got to make an adjustment now. Hello, Josh.
Hey, Doug. Hello, everybody.
Jim waved at you. I don't think you saw him wave because, again,
I just woke up from a nap.
all right. Oh, good to see you. All right. Coming back. Oops, wrong button. This. Preferences. Configure your preferences. I'm not going to fill in any of that information. Just click next. And I wouldn't fill them in for my client either. I've read and agreed with the policies. Now that's interesting. This button looks clickable without doing that check mark. Dell's privacy policy and telemetry notice. I'm just going to see if it'll let me click next. It did. That's interesting. A lot of times those check marks are required before you can move forward.
I don't remember there being a telemetry question before, so there must be some changes.
Could be. Yeah, so that's a Dell telemetry.
Oh, okay. Oh, that reminds me. I want to see how much bloatware they put on the system.
Okay. We'll get to that for sure. Come on, this one. This might take a few minutes. Don't turn your PC off. You know what? I'm going to stay on this image. I'm not going to switch back and forth because we want to see what this is going to do. I do have chat up on the other monitor here. Yeah, boss, I was surprised it didn't have an HDMI port. I usually see at least one of each. I was surprised to see 3 video ports on the motherboard.
Yeah, that interests me too.
Yeah, and I do have a client using those microcomputers that I've shown before, the Dell microcomputers. They have 3 video ports, but I wasn't confident that you could use all 3. But I do have a client using all 3 on one of those microcomputers that's mounted on the back of a monitor.
Those are display ports, I think.
Well, on that one, it had
Unless you changed one in the order.
it had 2 of one and 1 of the other. I don't know if it was 2 HDMI and 1 display
Yeah,
port.
I was configuring this model online while you were starting to set up.
Okay.
It'll let you add an HDMI or even an old VGA if you want it.
Yeah. In fact, on those Dell
some of those were on a card.
Okay. On those Dell microcomputers, I found even within the same model number, some of them, they had different configurations of video ports. Some of them had 2 video ports, some had 3, some were 2 HDMI or 2 display port, and they weren't the same, even though their model was the same. I think there was some specific revision or something that showed different. And I'm talking off of memory cells that are not always real reliable, but I think they were the same model. They were definitely microcomputers that were different. And every time I had to go buy one for them, I'd have to make sure it was the right configuration because I was looking for, the storage that we wanted, the memory that we wanted, the CPU that we wanted, the connections on the back that we wanted, the USB 3 ports that we wanted, and it was not easy. Adapter cables, HDMI. Let's see. I'm looking for question marks in orange. I don't see any in chat, so I haven't read through everything that's in there. So here we got the computer up, Windows 11, and I'm going to start with Windows key R, WinVer. See what we got. Like 21H2. I keep wanting to turn around and look at the monitor that's connected to the computer. There is no monitor. Can I see it better in the video? You guys are seeing?
Yeah, I got to make it full screen. Let me see what's going on. It's readable. It's not the best, but it's readable.
Yeah, when I make the video full screen over here, I can see it much better than on XSplit. So it's 21H2. Windows 11 Pro confirmed. Nothing else on this screen that we need to confirm. Okay. I was looking at the YouTube video, moving the mouse, and the mouse wasn't moving. Well, there's a delay. I have to look at XSplit to actually operate the mouse. Right. So
it's gonna be one of your computers, though. For the
again?
Your client.
Josh, start your sentence over again. I didn't understand it.
If it's gonna be one of your computers, or we gonna have to one of your client.
It's a client. It's for a client.
And you did say it was 21H2.
Yes.
Okay, so so OEMs usually get it before everybody else does. So apparently they haven't changed the requirement.
Well, yeah, but what about 22H1? Well, there isn't going to be a 1. There's only going to be one per year, right?
Yeah,
so it's only going to be 22.
22H2 is what we're waiting to see whether or not they're going to force you with the Microsoft account on Pro as well.
And what are they going to call it? Are they going to call it 22H2? I doubt it. It doesn't seem to make sense.
Who knows?
To stick with that.
Microsoft changes names like the rest of us change underwear.
I heard that they were going to call it the October or the September 2022 update.
Okay. Well, we will. I'll let them know what you want them to do. So I did Windows key R appwiz.cpl to get into programs listing and see about clutterware. That's not bad. A bunch of Dell stuff and a bunch of Microsoft stuff.
Yes, but I want to see what's running in the system tray.
All right, we'll get to that.
Store.
Dell Command, Digital Delivery, Dell Optimizer, Support Assist. Those are all pretty reasonable. Express Connect, drivers and services.
A lot of that they need for their
360. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, a lot of that they want for diagnostics for remotely. If you call and say your machine's acting up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we can uninstall them, but for this client, I'm not going to uninstall that stuff because we might make use of the warranty.
I'm stunned by something that's not there.
What's that?
There's no McAfee. There's no Norton.
Right. Yeah.
Well, OptiPlex is the business line.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be the difference. Now, there is also, however, this Dell Digital Delivery Services, which is specifically for delivering software. So what's going to happen after some updates are run?
Again, OptiPlex supposed to Inspiron. You'll probably just get business updates.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to suspect that's going to be the case.
Kind of like the Intel updates.
Yeah. I'm going to turn off, let's see. Do I have a button for turning off picture-in-picture there?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to have to do that manually.
Even after the next update, if you're ordering a computer from Dell that you tell them it's going to hook to a domain, they can't force you to get a Microsoft account to set it up because that
I
doesn't
think so.
domain.
So here's the system tray. There's only 2 items in the overflow menu.
Wow.
Let's go change that to display everything. Taskbar corner overflow. And these items are turned off, which puts them, I believe, into the overflow menu. So I turn those on, indicating that we want them to always appear. Choose which icons may appear in the taskbar corner. All others will appear in the taskbar corner overflow menu. So you always want an easy word for that up arrow thing. Taskbar corner overflow menu. TCOM.
Like I said, Microsoft changes names on things like everybody else changes their underwear.
Yeah. All right. And so now since I Okay, I can switch back and forth between chat and that video over there. Got a couple comments in orange, it looks like. From Ran Israel, 21H2 build 675, May 2022 build. Selden with 3 question marks. Do you create specialized install media or just use Dell's system image? This is Dell's image that came with the computer, and I'll stay with that. And for this, I guess maybe 2 reasons. For this client, it's sensible, and for warranty coverage, it's sensible to stay within what Dell has prescribed for these. And I can't justify spending my extra time and charging my client for it just to get to a fresh Windows install, for instance, that I might prefer to have for my own computer. I'm not doing extra work without charging my client for it.
And Boss has an interesting thing, is to check under apps for bloatware as well.
Oh yes, of course, there's store apps. Yeah, we'll go do that. Rand says it looks reasonably clean, but yeah, that's a good point, Boss. So let's go do that. Right, correct mouse here. So then we go on to this menu, and up here in the upper right, all apps. And here's there. So there's a trial version of Microsoft 365. Expect that. Alarms and clock, calculator, calendar, camera, Cortana, Dell stuff, Excel, trial mode again, feedback, file explorer, get help, get started, Groove Music, Intel stuff. Now this is not the apps list that he wanted us to go check, but we'll get there. This is
I don't see anything unusual.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything excessive or unusual here, but there's another place for us to go look at. The Notepad, Office, OneDrive, OneNote, Outlook, Paint, Photos, Power Media, Power to go for Dell, Power Director, PowerPoint, Publisher, Settings, Snip and Sketch, Snipping Tools, Sticky Notes, Tips, Voice Recorder. This all looks really.
Yeah, I'm so used to dealing with the consumer line. I'm just waiting to see a whole bunch of crap.
Yeah. So now I'll go do the Windows key and type apps, and we get add remove programs. Does that get us? Yeah, this is the 63 apps here. Alarms, calculator, camera, Cortana, Dell stuff, Dell support, Express Connect, feedback hub, Groove Music. This is all looking very standard and okay, except for
well, except for all the Dell stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they haven't included advertising software essentially for a bunch of other products.
They won't have to. Microsoft will put that in for them. There are some.
Yeah.
I've seen some comments and seen some things online that there are going to be ads coming to File Explorer, for God's sake.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, but as far as this direct purchase from Dell,
365 trial version.
What about the 365 trial version?
Well, I see it has some Office 365 apps on there. I assume that's a trial version.
Yes, we saw that. I think in the App Whiz.
Let me ask you a question here, since this has some of the Dell apps on there that you may want to keep for warranty purposes.
Yeah.
Are you going to make a system restore image so that you don't have to go hunt those all up? Or are all those always downloadable from Dell?
Well, they are downloadable from Dell. You can go into the drivers listing for Dell by putting in the service tag and download the apps that originally came with the computer. I've been there, done that.
So you don't need to make a system restore image yourself at this point, then?
No, but what I will be doing, because of this client and our plans for the next few years, as I'm
you're going to have backup software sometime.
Yes and no. As I'm preparing this computer for them, I'll be doing incremental Macrium Reflect backups for my own in-lab purposes, but when I have it fully configured for my client, I'll be making a master image that I intend to simply restore to the additional computers that we're going to buy for them. I'm not going to do the full rebuild of all of their software components with every new computer. And
So
to
you're going to
support
buy
that,
a number of identical computers for this client.
yeah. Now, our original intention, how I package it for them was we're going to buy all 35 computers, whatever the number was, in one blow, and we might not take delivery on all of them at the same time. We might be phasing them in, but we want all the same model. Well, because they decided they don't have enough funds on hand to just say yes to the whole package right now, this computer is for one of the partner attorneys who specifically needs a computer right now because his computer is not performing very well. So we bought this one. It is quite possible by the time they say yes to the other computers, it might not be quite this exact model.
Mm-hmm.
But they're close enough in my experiences with restoring Mac and Reflect to dissimilar software has been reasonable enough that I think I'm going to be okay with it. I don't know that until I actually get there. And I'm going to have to deal with what I have at that point. So also, while I'm building this, what I mean building is adding their software, the software products that we need for them. I'm going to be creating myself a new written script of what is to be installed, because I may wind up going through that again, and I'm pretty well practiced at creating those types of scripts. So let me say hello to Sam Lazar. Are you there, Sam? Can you say hello?
Yes, hello. How you guys
Hi.
going?
We're doing good. Good. Nice to see you today. Did
Yes,
you
thank
have any comments to bring to the table, or are you just here to hang out with us?
Yeah, with the Dell computer, my work Dell computer's got the same Dell software, and it's pretty much just for updates and warranty and maintenance. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. When I do a wipe and reload on a Dell computer, I will install the component that just checks for drivers to do the drivers installation now, but then I typically have uninstalled that. I have not tended to leave that in place because I don't want my clients to deal with those messages. Basically, if the messages pops up asking them something they don't understand, they always just click it away anyway. They won't. They don't call me about it. And in fact, to that point, my client will call me in for something that's not working right. And I say, well, show me what's wrong. And they start clicking through to get it. And some kind of a error message pops up and they just click it away and go on to show me the symptom and say, okay, let's go back again, but let's look at that error message. And oftentimes that error message tells us exactly what we need to fix, or it tells me what we need to fix. They just
it's a hello McFly moment.
Yeah, it's just totally they've somehow learned. They just click it away.
Yep, I've seen that before.
Now that brings me to a convenient segue to address some other things on my list. I had a client called me last night in the evening, little bit panicked, saying that they got this weird thing that happened. Husband and wife, they're both attorneys. They have their own law practices, and they're both clients of mine in their own separate businesses. The wife received a text last evening from the husband. They were 10 feet apart from each other at the time. The text message says something like, I think that's a good idea. I'm filling in a little bit of the blanks here. She looks over at him, I imagine, says, what do you mean? He says, what do you mean? She says, well, what do you mean? What's a good idea? And he says, well, I don't know. What do you think's a good idea? I don't know how that played out, but somehow eventually she tells him, look, you just sent me a text message. I think that's a good idea. What are you talking about? And he did not send that message to her. On her phone, an Android phone, that text message shows up from him in the list of other text messages from him.
Mm-hmm.
It's from him. Go look at his phone. When he looks at his text message interactions to her, he sees all of his previous text messages, and he sees that message from him to her. But he didn't send it. And the timestamp on these messages is just like within the prior 10 minutes. I don't know how quickly they saw it. So she receives a text message claiming to be from him. His phone confirms that, yeah, he sent it, but he did not send it. What do you do? What do you think happened? Do we need to shut down both phones and think they've been hacked?
Possibly.
Possibly. Yeah, it's possible.
They just need to get the correct phones.
Get the what?
Correct phones.
Correct phones. And what would that be?
Alphabet's not the company.
Oh, by the way, her phone is an Android. His phone is an iPhone.
Facebook's probably the problem, actually.
Facebook?
Yes, Meta.
Okay. How does Facebook get into your text messages, though?
They have a thing, because my wife's with her cancer has been on Facebook, and they send messages back and forth, and for some reason they break in to your message on your iPhone. I know they have to mine. Because I don't use Facebook at all, except we have one family group that's closed, nobody can get into it. But I get messages from her group of people who are having a birthday. Like, who the hell do I care if you lived another year with? Never mind. So it's probably Facebook Messenger.
Well, that's a reasonable thing to look at. So to check on that, we could go to their Facebook accounts and see what's in there. I don't know for sure that they have Facebook accounts. I'm not aware of it, but it's marginally possible.
A lot of people do, but I have a very close friend that's a doctor, and their family does, but I mean, nobody can. You can't even search him on Facebook. It doesn't show up. And his name, matter of fact, is so out, it doesn't show up. You know who? But he has an account, and they post daily.
All right. Well, I think that's a reasonable thing to check on. So I'll check on that. I'm looking at in chat here now. Randy Israel, probably recovery image on a separate partition. Yeah, to return to factory defaults, that a factory state, they typically do have an image. And checking up here, WizNation is asking if I could ask a few questions. He says, I have a computer and one of my fans is going out. Need to know if I need to replace it. I think it's called an exhaust fan on the back of the computer. And Kenny is saying to replace it. I would generally agree with that. However, if your computer has an excessive number of fans, might not be a big deal. If it's a low powered CPU that's not gonna overheat, probably not a big deal. I'd be more concerned about it if it was a CPU fan, the exhaust fan. I'm not quite so concerned about it, but I don't know enough of the circumstances to say that that is a good idea for you. Does the computer get hot when you're really working it hard? You put your hand back there, either behind the fan or open the case. Is it warm inside? If so, then we want to keep good circulation there. But a lot of computers, depending on if they're a few years old, this one probably is, and lower powered, might be fine without it. Both should be using Signal, not negative messaging. Not native messaging. Okay, so then that's a little bit overkill to just want everybody to be using a special texting app just to avoid this. I'm not going to go down that road with them. That's a little bit too serious. Blame Siri. Okay, there's something. I think somebody, who was that? somebody, maybe in this community, said that when they put their phone down and they talking, their phone would transcribe what they were sending or what they were saying, even though they didn't ask for that. I want to say that was Ken Stout.
Yeah, it was Ken, I think.
You think so? So is it possible that the husband, his phone got into a dictation mode somehow? He didn't realize that.
Possibly.
And it could have come over it could have been words over the TV, could have been something he said. It interpreted it as those words, and a touch on the screen some point later in time sent it. Could be. I'm about to tell you what I advise them to do. Wiz Nation says he has 7 fans total. And when one of the exhaust fans, it is a gaming PC. He built it. So you'd have to use your discretion there on whether you need it. This computer case for the Big Beast build, there was one of the exhaust fan locations that is not occupied because when Kerry Holzman was building it, while I was there at his Studio B, that fan that was going to go in that position wasn't working. So we just left it out. The computer has plenty of fan. And he said if I wanted it, I'd have to acquire it later. I definitely did not want to hold off on taking possession of the Big Beast build because of one fan. And no, I'm not concerned about it whatsoever. I had this, Wintermute says that Ken had the transcribing issue. Yeah, Selden, encrypted messaging seems to be appropriate for sensitive businesses like law. This is not sensitive communications within a law office. This is husband and wife. This is, no.
That may be more sensitive.
Yeah, it could be, but people need to not do sensitive stuff over text messages. There's just no point in doing that.
Communication.
Yeah, I can move the fan and it does start to work, but only if I make it spin a lot. I think we've gone far enough, Wiz Nation. I don't want to, you are welcome to ask questions, but I think we've addressed it enough. You built the computer. You are capable of making that choice. Zaviv Manor, do you familiar on Explorer Patcher that restores Windows 11 taskbar to be exactly like Windows 10? I don't want to do that. I do not want to get into the business of making my clients' computers look and feel like Windows 10 because once you start down that road with clients' computers, you're going to have to keep that up. Maybe there'll be updates that are needed. I'd rather just teach them how to deal with Windows 11. It's not that big a deal.
Windows 95, yeah. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested in doing that. William, just to prove that your phone is the spy, that you never think about it, it can listen to you without you knowing. I'm aware of that. How do you think I can do, hey Siri? There she is. She's listening. How can she hear me? If she's not listening to everything I say, how can she not respond to that? Shut up. Okay, she's gone. Not a big deal. What do I care if a device is listening to me? What I care is there's some creepy human out there listening to me. I don't care about a device listening to me. Come on. Why? Ugh. Okay, so what I advise my client to do. I pitched this to them and they said, yeah, okay, makes sense. On her phone, the wife's phone, I want you to respond to that comment in such a way that if there is an actual live person on the other end of that conversation that's trying to suck you into some kind of a scam or something, that will get them to respond. Because so far all they've said is, I think that's a good idea. I mean, what is the worst thing that could come from it? If they've actually hacked the phone, is that what they're going to do? Somebody has the skill level to spoof his phone and do something dastardly or even a prank. Is that what they're going to do? Really? No. What I think happened is just some kind of technical glitch. Or, like we've been saying, the possibility that the text dictation activated without realizing it. That seems more plausible. So I said reply to it, and I think it was going to be something like, when do you want to do that? So if there is a human on the other side trying to suck the wife into a scam or whatever, we expected that conversation to continue. So they said they would do that. We hung up. I haven't heard back from them since. I doubt that there's going to be any response, because I think it probably was that Siri opened up somehow. Nope, that didn't do it. But I've had my devices wake up without me saying the wake word or without anything I was playing at the time say the wake word. They just heard it wrong. And yeah, I think that's more likely what happened. I'm not at all worried about it. All right. So that was one of the other items on my list. Then here, let's go to this one. PayPal. I received a scam notice, not a scam notice, but a scam email. Yeah, let's get to here. All right, here, I'll bring it up on screen. Invoice from Target Inc. That's the subject line. It's coming from service at PayPal. This email address, that looks legit, service@paypal.com, and it's coming to me. Here's your invoice. Target Inc. sent you an invoice for $500 US, due on receipt. There's a button here to view and pay my invoice. Do you think I clicked the button?
Only if you're an idiot.
Don't click on it. Go straight to PayPal.
There you go. That's the right answer, Sam, is go straight to PayPal and check it out there. But
Yep.
there are a couple other things you can do, and I'm going to point those out here. Now this one here, buy now, pay over time, that's not clickable. So something you can do here is right click on the button and choose copy link address, come to a new browser tab. And I don't have any particular site that I prefer for doing this. I just do check URL for phishing or something to that effect. And I always skip the advertised results and come down here to, here's emailveritas.com. Right click and open a new tab, and then I'll take another one. Here's checkfish.ai. I don't quite recognize that one. EasyDmark, don't quite recognize that one. But anyway, I'll go ahead and take these two. Then go to those sites, and then in here, you click in here and do a Control-V for paste and search. And it says, we did not find this link to be malicious. So that did not find anything wrong with that link. So is that sufficient to go click on the button? Absolutely not. Come over to this one and do the same thing here. Control-V for paste and scan. Now I have on occasion done this and found information about the scam, which I find it useful as a technician to be able to inform my client, well, here's what that would have done if you would have clicked on it. This one says I've reached my daily limit. Well, that's because I did this morning, I think. I checked on it. So then you could go to others. What I'm going to do here is bring up my PayPal and show you what we find in there. Because it turns out that button is legitimate. It will take me to my PayPal. I'm still not going to click that button, but it is legitimate, and I'll show you why I now believe that. So I'm not showing this to you, but I'm logging into my PayPal account. Let's see, what is it asking for here? Oh, I gotta log into RoboForm. On the Big Beast build, RoboForm is not remembering my sign in. I think I need to uninstall it, reinstall it to get that fixed. My other computers that I don't have to keep logging into it all the time. I'll go into my PayPal. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit transparent here, and I'll address a couple issues that you're going to see on my PayPal account. Just so you don't think that I didn't realize I was exposing. I'm exposing the amount of money that's on my PayPal balance and the amount of money in crypto. And you see this negative number down here, 3,600 negative in PayPal. I invested $6,000 in 4 different cryptocurrencies using PayPal. I don't know, what was it, a year and a half ago? I've lost more than half of that value. And I have a track record of, and I've done this in the stock market, of manipulating the stock market over and over and over, reliably. Manipulate the stock market. The manipulation I can do is anytime I buy a stock, it will go down. Same thing happened in PayPal. Not PayPal, cryptocurrency. So yeah, me and...
Should have bought Apple.
I did. Yeah, I did. And every time I bought it, it went down. You remember those occasions when it went down?
I've seen it go down in the short term. Over since 2009, my Apple stock has averaged a 39% a year increase.
Yeah, I'm being a little bit facetious and a little bit exaggerating. I've had some.
That's the only stock.
Some stocks go up, but. So here, this one right here. See this one, Carla Pard. Yesterday, August 26th, an invoice pending, $500. It doesn't say Target here. It says Carla Pard. So this was a request for payment that was sent to my PayPal account. I'll double click on that and go, let's see. How do I get into that? I got into that. Oh, there it was. That was a delay. So that was clicking on something in my PayPal account. That's all right to do. Here it says $500. Remember that invoice came yesterday according to it, but it says overdue. PayPal, this is the invoice of your last purchase with Target. Notice it doesn't say anything about what I purchased. The invoice of your last purchase with Target, which I haven't purchased anything from Target. If you have a query, please call this number. What do you suppose is going to happen if I call that number? Yeah. There's the scam.
Yeah.
Bill will go to $1,000.
Yeah. Or they say, "Oh, this is we've identified this. Your computer's been infected. We need to connect remotely to your computer to clear that infection for you," or whatever their scam is. Down here, Target gift card. Here it says Target gift card. So it's saying that I bought a Target gift card, I guess is the implication. Yeah, this says items here. PayPal, this is the invoice of your last purchase with Target. If you have a query, please call this number. Yeah. So
yeah, I've never seen this one before. This is interesting.
Yeah, I have not seen this particular scam before, but and so when I do see something that's unique or different, I kind of like to think it's a good thing to bring it to the community and just the ongoing lesson is suspect everything as being a scam. Anything that comes your way.
Now here's my question. How do you get rid of it?
Oh, I'm just going to ignore it. I don't intend to do anything with it. Yeah, I'm not going to spend any time on it.
Well, as your shirt says, Jim, what would Spock do? And there'd be phasers to full power.
No, that was what Kirk would do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. Yeah. No, I'm not going to spend any time chasing it down, investigating it further. I wouldn't have investigated as far as I did, except that I thought it would be interesting content. All right, then another item on my list, and we'll turn our attention back to the computer. I got a package in the mail, and I'm wondering if this is a scam. Remember, I said, suspect everything of being a scam. I'm going to show you what the address claims, who it's from, because that's kind of Cryptic. I'll switch to that camera. Oh, I do some adjustment there.
Oh dear.
Let's see. I'm gonna adjust the exposure. And then focus.
Bit dark.
Huh?
A little dark. That's better.
Okay. Now I can't see because of the way this window is. There's the from address and the person that it claims to be from. QFK. Who in the world is QFK?
Quest for
Hello?
knowledge.
Huh?
Quest for knowledge.
Quest for knowledge. There you go. That maybe. I don't know if it's safe to open it. QFK. There's a winner. Chat. Ken Stout Live says Q. Okay, so he's not going to say it on the Zoom session. He's putting it in chat. Quiz for Ken. Yeah.
I'm busy working on your background.
Oh, I see. Because you got to be ready to get back at me for a few things, huh? All right. Yeah, that's. I guess Ken is claiming that now as his nickname, UFK. It kind of makes me think like JFK, UFK.
Yeah, I was thinking JFK.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I missed some other oranges here. Nope. I did talk about that one with the phone spy. There's question marks. Did the drive get there? The drive, is that what's in that package? I knew it's
Can neither confirm nor deny that.
Is there some other booby traps in there?
I can neither confirm nor deny that either.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That seems a little risky.
And by the way, this stall tactic for me working on my project for you isn't going to work.
Oh, it's not?
No. Oh, you know what? I'll go ahead. I'll let the cat out of the bag or the box out of the envelope, one of the two. You know all your crypto that you've lost?
Yeah.
Craig had it.
You're going to get... Well, Craig had it. Oh, that Craig.
Miss Craig.
Craig. You've never heard of Craigslist?
Well, we don't have it in Australia, so yeah.
You can always submit a ticket with RoboForm. They will respond in reasonable fast time. Yeah, okay. I'm more inclined to uninstall and reinstall first and see if that fixes it. Then I'll do a ticket. Or maybe I want to experience them anyway. Maybe I would want to experience that. I have selfish reasons for being glad that crypto is crashing. Refund scam, 4-digit invoice number. I didn't even notice that. Okay, I guess we're caught up now. Ken, I heard you make a comment on your show, yes, I think last night, about wanting to get together with me about something about an auto start not working. What's that about?
Yeah, I lost power the other night, and now I can no longer auto start through OBS. It is set up correctly in YouTube, but every time I hit start stream, it just starts it right away from OBS. So I think maybe this afternoon I'll look in those settings to see if that got whacked somehow. Because I really did like that feature. It worked out really good.
Oh, okay. So if you now the way the auto start works is that you start your stream from OBS, and that will automatically start the YouTube live stream without you having to go click in YouTube.
Right, except when I click on OBS start stream, it pops a box up and say I have to select one. Do you want to go to manage your streams? And I say yes. I go to manage the streams, and I have the however many I have scheduled to choose from to start that stream. As soon as I click on the one that I want, it does start, or it did start automatically, but now it does not. And again, this all goes back to the power failure.
Yeah, that's weird that a power failure would change that setting. Yeah, I think it's just going through those
Any updates?
settings.
No, I
Rest-
haven't had any updates that I'm aware of. And okay, so here I'll just add a mystery for you to figure out. Not only did it screw up my OBS and YouTube connection, it also reset the date to the Fire Stick to June 15, 2015. It took me about an hour to figure that out. I got a hold of the streaming people and I was like, what's going on? They had no clue. Then I went to settings. I went through each individual setting. And as soon as I hit the date and time and seeing it was June 15, 2015, when I reset it to the correct time, my Fire Stick worked just fine. So I don't know what that power outage was, but it just really screwed a bunch of things up.
When you restarted your computer, did you notice if it went through Windows recovery where it might have restored a system restore point?
No, it started up normally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it seems unlikely that circumstance would cause that, but just go fix it and move forward. Gary's got a link in there in the chat for Lucky Strike. What's that about, Gary?
An acronym. You guys were talking about AQF. QFA.
It's LSMFT.
I figured I better correct what I put in there.
Oh, LSMFT was something about
Lucky Strike acronym from the 50s, if I remember.
Oh. Okay.
It's no big deal. I just wanted to correct what, in case somebody thought the LSMFT meant something horrendously bad.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
there's another
I had
one which
no
I
idea
won't
what it
say on the
meant.
family channel.
Exactly. That's why I corrected myself.
Angie of Angie's list is a possibility too. I guess I'm gonna read in between the lines there and say Dennis is proposing that she might have my crypto money.
And then actually the other, excuse me, I apologize. That was for, I should have put it down there, I didn't put it wrong, but that is for Sam. They do have a Craigslist in Australia, it says. Sorry.
Oh, do they? Huh.
Oh.
Didn't know that.
And then I have, let's see, quiz for Ken Bad, Drive LOL, and Dennis Go Live and OBS is the same as Go Live in YouTube Studio. OBS sends appropriate code to YouTube. But there is an option in OBS, I think, to choose auto start, I think it's called. And if you don't choose that, then OBS is not going to send that to YouTube. Okay, so let's go open this package.
Put rubber gloves and a face mask on before opening package.
Right. Jump out at me.
Bomb.
Yeah. Oh, it's a cardboard box. Thank you, Ken. I'll use that to put something in. Yeah, what this is, for those who don't know, is it's a hard drive that went bad on Ken and he gave up. And because Doug is a Doug.
GRS.
Say again?
GR, Gibson Research.
Yeah. I'm gonna try Steve Gibson's spin right on it. I know there are people who are skeptical and have actually said that will destroy the drive. Well, the drive is already a doorstop. He's not going to use it anyway, so that doesn't matter. And it may work, it may not. I'd like to find out because I'm a Doug. It's an 8 terabyte Skyhawk, and I've Ken, are you actually interested in some GoPro mounting paraphernalia that I have?
No, I appreciate the offer, Doug, but no,
All right.
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, very good. So moving on. I'm not going to do that today. I went to mute. Doug is supposed to respond to his name or question marks. Yeah, that's I don't think it's that the question marks are easier, because when you type the @ symbol LI, then you just click on my channel name. I don't know that's a whole lot easier, but the point that somebody made is that you have only a limit of 200 characters for a chat message, and that includes the name of who you're sending the message to. It's not as easy for me to spot the question marks, though. The orange is a whole lot easier for me to spot. So if it doesn't make a difference to you, I prefer the orange, but I'm trying to see the question marks. And I have caught everything. All right, now let's go back to this computer. This one. Oh, you know what? This happened with the HP All-in-One a day or two ago during a Windows Daily, where it was dark and I pressed the power button to turn it on and it didn't come on. And I think what had happened, since I had just restored the image file that contained the fresh Windows 10, I don't think the computer was actually off when I pressed the power button. I think it had just gone into standby mode, which is what I think this computer has done. It would be incorrect of me to press the power button, which the power button right now is dark. There's no hint that it is in standby mode. Try the enter key. Yep, there it goes. It's coming on. That's all it was. So the things that I'm interested in finding out: what is the status of encryption? What is the status of system restore? And perhaps there's other things we're interested in seeing the status of. So pressing the wrong keyboard. Windows key. Device encryption settings. Now that's one way to get to it. Rather than selecting that now, I'm going to escape out of that, use the Windows key, and then just go into settings. And here's settings. Click on that, and then go to Windows Update. And in Windows 10, when you get to the Windows Update panel, device encryption would be at the bottom. You don't see that here. I'm not seeing anything here that's obviously device encryption, maybe privacy and security. No, so I'm going to go back and use
device encryption. It's there. I saw
Did you see it? All right. Go back to settings, and I was on privacy and security. You saw it. Oh, there it is, right here. Okay. So that's one way to get to it, is going into settings and then click privacy and security, and there's device encryption. And that should get us there the same method as Windows key and device encryption settings. I would expect those are both going to get to the same screen. Yeah. Device encryption as a sub-item of privacy and security. Sign in with your Microsoft account to finish encrypting this device. Up here at the top, device encryption helps protect your files and folders from unauthorized access in case your device is lost or stolen. More about device encryption. And here, encrypt data on this device to help protect from offline unauthorized access. BitLocker device encryption. The thing that bothers me about this, troubles me actually, is this comment about to finish encrypting this device. It's partly encrypted. Right here, device encryption says that it's on. So if I turn it off, which I think that's what I'm going to wind up doing with these computers, although as I mentioned earlier, we are intending to increase security configurations in this office. I might wind up going with encryption on this computer and for the rest of their computers. I'm not too concerned about being able to recover data off a drive that is no longer functioning, because in this office, all the data is going to be stored on servers. They're not supposed to store data on their computers. When they do that outside of policy, and if they suffer because of that, it's a lesson learned for them, is my attitude about it. Can't have people, and they still do, even though I tell them that and advise of that, they do still store documents on their desktop. And when I talk to them about it, I find out that those are just template documents for an easy starting point. They aren't critical data that needs to be protected. So, yeah, let's go ahead and turn this off, because I believe what we're going to find is we're going to see it take a couple of minutes to turn off device encryption, which indicates that it came to me with encryption partially in place. What does that mean? What happens if you don't deal with this subject? If you do this, your files won't be protected and decryption can take a long time. Well, I don't think in this case, because there's not much on this computer.
BitLocker.
Yeah, this here says BitLocker drive encryption. Now, I did a video in January that was brought to my attention by virtue of somebody making a comment on that video, and I noticed that comment this morning. I pasted a clip of that video at the beginning of today's chat. I'm not going to switch over to today's chat. I'm going to let this play through here so that we document how long this takes. In that video in January, I came across a similar instance on a brand new HP laptop computer, and that's when I first discovered this subject. And it was also partially encrypted. It wanted me to sign into Microsoft account to complete the encryption. I turned off the encryption on that device. It took a couple of minutes for it to complete. Looks like we're about there. Yeah, so here encryption is turned off. Now in that video in January, I went back and watched the whole video because for two reasons, I needed to go back and watch that video. One, that I'm almost 65, and the upside of that for me, not all 65-year-olds are like that, but for me, it means I can watch a movie that I saw 2 months ago and I forgot how it turns out. And sometimes I'll watch a movie and I realize 3/4 of the way through, oh, I've seen this before, but I don't remember how it'll end. So I go ahead and watch it to the end. Then the other reason is just because I'm a Doug. But anyway, I'll get up to that. Comment in chat here up at the top. I scrolled all the way up to the top of chat. I've got a link in here. I'm going to right click, open a new tab, and I'm going to go ahead and play this clip because it's not long. And click on the turn off. And I'm going to check the volume audio levels here and be sure you can hear it. Encryption settings. Here we have a turn off. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the turn off so that we stop that from happening. Your files won't be protected. Decryption can take a long time. And it is actually decrypting. So files were encrypted. That's kind of important that I stop that in progress. Now this is a little disturbing because this computer came brand new from HP, already set like this. And I didn't have it anywhere in my routine to go check on device encryption, either to finish the encryption by signing into the Microsoft account or turning off the encryption. So that's going to take a little while, perhaps. You can see the time in the bottom right corner. I'm going to pause. Okay, that took a couple minutes. Encryption is turned off. Encryption settings. Here we have a turn off. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the turn off so that we stop. That was the end of it. It's repeating now. I used that clip technique in YouTube to bring that up. Now in that clip, I didn't say anything other than what I've already told you. The only significant difference is this is Dell Windows 11. That was HP Windows 10. In the rest of that video, I go and show some more information about device encryption and Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro and I go through BIOS settings, turning off TPM and turning off secure boot. That particular computer had an option in BIOS for hiding TPM from the operating system. All of those changes in BIOS, Windows 10 still told me that that computer was capable of Windows 11. And I was trying to get it to a point to where my client would not accidentally upgrade to Windows 11 on that computer. But in the process of the Microsoft documents that I show in that video, I show the massive confusion of terminology that Microsoft uses with device encryption is different than BitLocker encryption, is different than BitLocker device encryption, operates differently on Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro. Just a massive amount of communication. The way they word things comes to no surprise to anybody watching this video, I'm sure, that Microsoft is not clear and effective with their communications. So this is an unresolved issue for me at this point about when I'm going to use encryption and when not. And I have had clients who have had computers stolen from their offices. I am interested in having their local hard drives, their local storage media encrypted. I'm dealing with clients who are purchasing cybersecurity insurance, and the questionnaires that we have to respond to each year are getting more and more fussy about the requirements. Asking, are we doing two-factor authentication? Do people know each other's passwords? They don't want that. Are we using encrypted email for sensitive communications? They are asking these questions, and I have clients who are very, very concerned about having cybersecurity insurance. It's an important issue in the business world. For a lot of home users, it's not going to be such an important issue. So let's move on to the next subject on this computer. Let's see, I'll go take a quick look and see what else has happened in orange. There are a couple things in orange in chat. Dennis, power settings got you. That was, oh yeah, the default power settings in Windows 10 and 11 puts it to sleep after an amount of time. Yeah, that catches me often. Benchmark the NVMe. Yeah, we want to do that. Just received 3 Windows updates from Defender. Look in disk management. For what purpose? What do you want to see in there? Could you right-click on the drive from Explorer and get to the same, meaning drive encryption? What are you asking me to get to? Ran, the rest of the process is probably associated with associating the encryption key to the Microsoft account. Could be. So the files on the computer, I'm thinking, were already encrypted, but now they just want to associate to the encryption key. That might be. I might actually test it. I might actually use my Microsoft account and see what that does. To clarify, they want you to log into Microsoft account for the encryption for a reason. Microsoft want to make. Yeah, I know about. I'm aware of that. That's not what I was questioning. My concern there is that it comes to me partially encrypted without any big glaring notification of that. I do, yeah, for encryption, I'm likely going to be using Microsoft accounts because that gives you a way to recover if you lose the encryption key. By the way, device encryption requires TPM to be enabled. Yeah, probably more relevant Windows 10 than Windows 11. I suspect that you can have BitLocker device encryption without TPM, because I think that's been around for a while. It's also been confusing in Windows and Microsoft's documentation. They make this distinction about If your device can't support device encryption, then it may be able to support BitLocker standard encryption. PhotoMix Media, really informative so far, sir, on today's stream. Thank you. Then, they were asking me to go to disk management. Ran Israel, yes, and BitLocker is optional as there are other recovery methods. For BitLocker, you need TPM as a requirement. Yeah, they have so much. For BitLocker, you need TPM, it's a requirement. I'll check on that later. That's Sam Van Thiel. And the only Sam, I'm not challenging you on it. I don't need you to come back and say, yes, it is. I'm challenging that because the wording in that from the sites that I've gone to for Microsoft and some other tech sites, they really mix up the verbiage. And now here, Rand is saying it's supported, but not required. I think for actual BitLocker, I think BitLocker encryption has been around longer than TPM has. I'm not certain about that.
If you don't have TPM, you have to save your key on a removable device, is what it says.
Yeah. Okay, well, that makes sense. So you can have BitLocker encryption without having TPM.
Yes.
There's some other caveats to it. Okay, I'm not going to chase down that more right now. Let's get back to here. Close this, get the right mouse, close this down, and I'll bring up disk management. I'm not sure what somebody was wanting me to see in here. Was it about encryption? They didn't really specify, but here's this recovery partition. This, I believe, both of these are labeled recovery partition. One or the other, or maybe somehow a combination of both of them, I think is the Dell factory restore data. I'll leave that open to see if we get some other specific question, but I want to find out about system restore. So I'll go Windows button and then type system restore. There's create a restore point. How about I go change display settings, go to a lower resolution so we can all see this better. 20 by 1080, 24 by 768. Sometimes this makes it very difficult to see all the information that's on a particular window. System restore is off. So here's an instance, or I've seen even, I think even on a fresh Windows 10 install, maybe from a USB image. I'm not sure if it's off by default, but it seems to me that at some points in the history, you know, I don't know if it was 20H2 or what version, there was at some point where Microsoft announced, documented that they were turning off system restore by default in order to save space, which I want to say that it was around the early days of SSDs, where SSDs were still pretty expensive. So maybe at that point, for that reasoning, there was space concerns. We certainly don't have that now. So I'm going to click on the C drive, choose configure, turn on system protection up here. And right now it's at 0 bytes, so that's not going to work. We got to give it some space. I've commonly seen 10 gigabytes, I think, around there. I'm going to just slide this up a bit. I haven't really settled on a number. I've got 14 gigabytes currently selected. Now, when you come back in here, you can get a report on how much space you're using, see how many restore points you have in the history of restore points, and decide whether you want to add more or not. And I'll click down here to create. Let's see. First, system restore point. I don't normally name them when I'm creating them manually, but sometimes I do. Particularly if I'm about to do something. If I'm about to make some kind of a sledgehammer type configuration change where I'm trying to troubleshoot a problem, I'll put in descriptions there. Restore point was created successfully. Now, if I come, I think back to configure, here, current usage. It's showing that I'm using 7.64 megabytes. So that's really tiny compared to the amount of space that I've allocated. So I'm going to click on that. Can I use left arrow? Yeah, I'm using left arrow to take it down to 1%. 4.74 gigabytes. And so I can get lots of system restore points. Now, it might be different once I install all the software that my client needs to have on their computers. So I intend to go back and look at that again and reconsider that. The Dell support, I think that that's one of those other partitions, but I typically don't bother with that because that's easy to recover from if I need to. So that was system restore. I'm done with that. I'm questioning myself if there's anything else that I want to check on for how this came to us. Anything from chat or Zoom before we shut today's stream down? We're approaching 2 hours.
Hey Doug, if you put it in high performance mode,
If I put it in a high performance mode, is that, what was your question? I'm not sure what you said.
if you put it in high performance mode,
Did I? No, I haven't changed performance mode on it, but we could go take a look at how it's set. It should be set at whatever is appropriate for this computer's configuration as detected by Windows 11 Pro.
Usually balanced.
It'll be balanced.
Yeah, we'll go look at that. I have Acer Windows 11 laptop. It does not have BitLocker. All my other laptops are Intel and come with BitLocker. I was asking if you can get to BitLocker setting by right-click on the drive as a shortcut way to get to it. Okay. All right. Let's go have a look at that. That's a reasonable question. So I'll start with File Explorer, expand this PC, right-click on the C drive, look at property. Oh, there was turn on BitLocker. Right-click C drive here. Here's turn on BitLocker. So that'll probably get checking configuration. Oh, it just goes straight into it. It didn't take me to that screen. I'll cancel that. You want to cancel BitLocker setup? Yes. And then if I go to properties, does this have any access to BitLocker? Tools, check, optimize. Not seeing anything here. Seeing it there. Then let's go right click on the Windows button and go to disk management. See if this has anything about BitLocker. Right click on the C drive. See anything there? This is the same page that we already looked at for the properties of the drive. Right click on this. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. So the only thing we had there for BitLocker was this one, but it doesn't take us to that BitLocker configuration screen. The way we get to, if we go to settings, and then privacy and security and device encryption. Oh yeah, there are things we want to do with this. We want to do some tests. People are reminding me in chat of the other things. Sorry, bigger one would be Dell's factory image. Prefer keeping the native resolution, changing the scale. I'm behind. My custom builds do not have drive encryption as you displayed it. they would have to have TPM enabled, I believe, in BIOS for you to see them from Windows, providing device encryption. Prior to TPM, you would have to actually, I believe, install BitLocker encryption from BitLocker as a vendor. Oh, and Dennis is referring to his custom builds. I think Dennis's custom builds are not TPM compliant. I think he's already told us that. Are you running a pro version? Oh, that was to Dennis. Dennis says he has both. And can you check if auto defrag is on and benchmark the NVMe? Auto defrag? No, it's an NVMe. You're not going to have defrag on an NVMe. SSD shouldn't have defrag.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Gary?
That was Jim, I think.
Oh, Jim?
Yeah, it was me. There's no such thing as a defrag on a solid state drive.
It's
Yeah.
trim.
Yeah, they
It's
call it
trim,
trim. There's a
right.
trim, some call it optimize, whatever the heck, but no, there's no defrag.
Yeah. So right here for C drive, solid state, never run. Current status says needs optimization, which that's misleading.
Try running it. It's going to say it's trimming anyway.
Oh, okay.
It won't defrag.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Wrong mouse. You guys weren't even seeing me pointing to that optimize button with the mouse. Yeah, it says trim, showing an amount of space trim. Okay. That makes sense.
Hey, Doug?
Here is an answer from an Alexa
Hang on a second.
contributor that I translated. Is a transitive verb that means to perform a thing or an activity.
Mhm.
I just muted her. She woke up from something we said. I don't know. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, quick question. Do you go back to the days of setting up hard drives with debug? When you had entered a bad table into the FAT with debug?
When you enter a bad table into FAT debug.
You use the debug facility and you enter in, they give you a piece of paper with the new hard drive and you have to enter in 5 or 6 bad sectors and with debug. And that's how you do your FDIS linear format. That goes back to the 20 meg hard drives.
Well, I remember the 20 meg hard drives. I remember those great big tanks of drives. It was a 4-letter acronym called them. There was MDM before that. Yeah, but I remember low level formatting. I'm suspecting debug in relation to formatting was used when something went wrong. That wasn't the standard.
Right when IBM Poems first started coming out, they actually sent you the new drive with a list of bad sectors, and you went in and you had to enter the bad sector yourself.
Yes,
and that's what Gibson Research actually does. He doesn't recover as much as people think. Oh my God, he's actually telling the drive itself that sector is bad and do not ever try to use it again.
Yeah.
Where check disk on Windows 11, let's say, it tries to do that, but it isn't as powerful as enough because they don't talk to every piece of hardware in depth. That's the problem. Yeah.
I do recollect about getting a list of bad sectors from the manufacturer of a hard drive. I'm not certain that I ever actually pulled the straw to enter those into the table.
Yeah, it's a pain.
But I'm aware of that. Yeah, I don't think I ever actually did that.
Yeah, but that's basically what Gibson does. I mean, you're not going to get too many files saved. You're going to get basically the drive marked off, and next time you go to format it and create the volume and whatnot, it will not see the bad sectors, and that's why it should work.
Somebody somewhere recently, I heard them. I don't know if it was on. It could have been on Terry's channel or Ken's channel. I don't know if it was in Zoom or something, but somebody saying something about computer that took like 20 minutes to start up, and that's where
Oh,
my
that was-
mind went.
Yeah, that was also me with
Oh.
back in the XP days with Norton installed, 20
Yeah.
to 25 minutes to boot up.
Yeah. And where my mind went with that, I agree with you completely about Norton and McAfee and all of those sledgehammer utilities. That they'll slow down a boot time, but where my mind went with that is also, even I think you wound up with a 3-minute boot or 5 minutes, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
is that Windows will retry sectors that are marginally bad, but maybe haven't been flagged as bad yet. So I'm suspicious of retrying, and that even possibly was there something about the place on the drive where Norton was installed that had marginal sectors. Now it could have all been Norton.
Oh, it was all Norton. Trust me.
I'm easily persuaded to that in that case. But that's, my mind goes that direction when I find a computer that is
Yeah, they had
taking a long
Norton.
time to start up, because I want to go check the health of the drive.
Yeah, it was Norton Disk Doctor, I think, NDD.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh boy.
Of course, that was a good way to waste that and ScanDisk. Watch those little yellow around.
Jim, on that particular computer, did you check the health of the drive, and was it okay?
The drive was fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was all Norton.
Yes, because Norton at that point, especially if you're running Norton, it's XP. I think it was a 4 gigabyte machine, which was supposed to be perfectly fine for that era, but just Norton wants to interfere with every little bit of thing the computer's doing, and it just bogs the hell out of it.
Yeah, clearly. All right, let's
Hey,
go. I want to get moving along. What is it, Josh?
Are you gonna disable the hibernation file?
Disable what?
A hibernation file.
Hibernation? No. Not now. That is part of my routine checklist. I'm not interested in going through my routine checklist now for this video. I'm looking here for the things that were concerned
be here
about
another
how
2
the computer
hours.
comes. Yeah. So no, I'm not going to do that now. But that's on my routine checklist. Okay, so somebody says quick start disable. That's on my routine checklist too. I'm not concerned about. We know it comes with default quick start, so I'm not going to do that. Power usage test. Yeah, when we get to a point of doing a performance test, I plugged this in to my power meter. So I already have it plugged in to the power meter. Ran BitLocker is accessible from File Explorer where you found it, also in Control Panel. Okay, we've been down that road enough. I'm moving on. Just turn off that computer. Ran surprise scheduled defrag is on. Yes, but it doesn't do defrag. It does trim, which that's fine for that to be scheduled. My proper Windows having everything needed to display device encryption. Okay, he says he's going to do that video. All right, so let's get back to this computer. We need to download utility to, and I've got the display big right now, and we're going to do this through Microsoft Edge because I don't want to take the time now to install Google Chrome or another browser. Deal with it. Oh, it's not plugged into internet.
Is this the point where I say, such a Doug?
Yeah, it is.
Any bets on how long it takes to time out?
Complete setup. I focused. Confirm. Continue without signing in. Dell Optimizer. I want to close that. Let's get. How am I going to? That oh, that does. Okay. I just close that. So we want crystal disk mark.
Probably, yeah. My guess is the drive's going to be between 1800 and 2100.
1927.
Crystal disk. Okay, that's info down here, right? Layout of this is a little different because of the resolution change that I made. I'm not seeing the
It's at the top.
buttons
Very
that I
top.
recollect at the very top. Okay,
It's at the top.
This here, crystal disk info. Here's crystal disk mark. This one here, agreed?
Yeah.
And that's an advertisement. There's that download button is for the advertisement. Close the advertisement. And that gets us onto the next page. There's asking for, oh, the download is happening. No additional click. Okay, I'm gonna just open the file from there. Answer yes to user account control. Accept the agreement. I don't care about putting this into a particular folder, as is my usual routine, because I'm probably gonna wipe and reload this anyway. I do not deliver computers to my clients with a bunch of utility software that they never need. Launch crystal disk mark. Okay. Do we want to trim it down so it doesn't take so long, or do you like the long text?
Yeah, the 1 gig should be fine.
1 gig. We don't need it to go through 5 times.
No, no, probably not.
And then I'm just going to click on the top test. It's weird how it makes it look like all the tests are going to run, but oh well. So I've done 1 gigabyte and 1 test.
I'm impressed.
Wow. Oh, that's right. This is a Gen 4 drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was,
still think it's
I was
low.
thinking it was a Gen 3 drive. Okay.
No,
Wow.
it is Gen 4.
Wow.
I was not able to select the newer generation of memory. It wasn't an option that was available.
Wow. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
All right.
Of course, I'm not bragging like it's a 970, 980 Pro or something on the drive.
Okay. Then let's go. What would you like to see for a processor or GPU benchmark? We don't have a dedicated GPU, but we can still run a test. To push it to, looking to push it for seeing how much power it uses when it's
So
under
then
load.
you want to use Cinebench R23.
Okay. Cinebench. Guide me through this. I do not do these often. For my clients, I don't bother with this stuff. So
I think it's the third one down. Cinebench TechSpot. Try that one.
Cinebench TechSpot. TechSpot.com. All right. And download now. That doesn't
There you
look
go.
like an advertisement.
No.
There's download options. Do I just go to the download now button, or do I need any of these options?
No, I don't think you download now should be enough.
Yeah,
Most of the other links are for the older versions.
Yeah, that's what my impression is. So that the first older version was 23.2. I suspect we're getting
Doug.
something more recent. Yes,
To
sir.
add, you can get the Dell software from the Microsoft Store. That's what I've done on my work computer for updates on the apps.
The Dell software.
Yep, that's where I get
Alright.
updates for the Dell apps.
All right.
To check there, mid taskbar.
Did we get a download yet?
I was looking. I don't see it.
I don't see it. I think is it pointing me down to click on, wanting me to click on these buttons?
Yeah, try. Yeah,
That's
try
what
the,
I'm
try the
thinking.
one. Yeah.
Proceed to
Right.
download free.
That's an advertisement.
That's the RAR. Yeah, this
That's-
whole thing
yeah,
is an
that-
advertisement to get the zip RAR archiver. So I just close that advertisement and waiting to see if the download starts. Now downloading. In the upper left says it is downloading. There it is. It's downloading without clicking anything else. Some of these websites have a delay built into them. I read that somewhere. I don't know where. That their delay is programmed into the website, hoping that you'll go click on something else, some advertisement.
And people wonder why the first thing I do when I have a new build, I put an ad blocker in. This is
Now,
why.
I'm actually trying to run this from a zip file.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Not a good idea. It's not working. Yeah. Okay. So let's go up one level, right click, and extract all. And it's going to create a folder called Cinebench R23.2.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing a drive that's like 6600 and 4400 on reads and writes. It's not going to take all that long.
Yeah. 3,590 items in that zip file.
Couldn't fit that on a floppy.
Okay, so that has put me into that folder.
Now you can run it.
Looks like I probably, nope, no button to click on, so I'll just close.
Down at the bottom.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, here's an accept
Accept.
button. You can see my resolution problem here. I'm not seeing all of that web page. Oh, this isn't the web page. This is the program. So let's
Yep. So you're
change
going
the
to just,
resolution back.
yeah, you can change resolution. It's up to you whether you want to run a single core or multi-core. I don't think it's really going to matter much, but yeah, it'll stress the hell out of the thing.
All right. Before I do that, before I start it, I'm going to set up my webcam to be able to show the oh, that focus looks okay on my hand. To be able to show the power meter. Then there. I'll tab to get back to Cinebench. And here's where I choose multi-core or single core. Now, I'm going to go ahead with the multi-core. Because I am trying to see power. Maybe multi-core is going to use more power than single core. It kind of seems like
More
it
than
should.
likely. More than likely, yeah.
Yes, it could.
What processor is it, Doug?
i5.
It's in
Oh,
the
it's an I-
description. I don't know.
It's an i5, probably an i5 for either 400 or 600.
I think 12600.
It actually says it's a 12500. That's interesting. Okay. 65 watt. Yeah, so you're not going to get that much power draw out of it.
Let's see, I'm going to adjust that exposure.
Yeah, just a wee bit.
You think?
It's
That's-
real frustrating.
Last time I adjusted it was for that white label on the package.
There you go.
And see how I can do with focus. Using the word Spartan at the top. Do the best I can with focus.
There you go.
Then when I press one of those buttons, I think the display lights up. Is that readable?
Yeah, it's readable. You just got to try to set it to display watts only or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's on 98 watts. I haven't seen a way to make this stay on watts. But there's
Okay, well.
98.3 watts.
And that's at idle. Interesting.
Well, it's not at idle. It's running Cinebench right now.
Oh, that's right. It is running.
It's running the test. 98
Yeah.
watts. Running
Oops.
the test.
There we go. There we go.
So
Yeah. Nice. That's not a lot.
that's not a lot.
And most of that's the CPU anyway.
Yeah. So there you see that it's running. It's just not much power usage, sipping power. And on the left-hand side, we can see, I guess that orange there is how this is running. Yeah, because it says running right there.
Right.
So it's showing where it compares with these others. So below it is an i9 9000 something. Below that is an AMD Ryzen 7 1700X. You know what?
Yeah,
This is easier to read on the video that you guys are seeing than the screen I'm looking at.
Looks like it says it's just above an i9 9660 or 9880H, which would be a mobile processor, I think.
Now I see it better when I'm looking at the video, YouTube video. And then the ones that immediately above it, immediately above orange, that one is a AMD Ryzen Threadripper,
Yeah, first gen.
1950X.
Yeah, first gen Threadripper, yeah.
All right, with 16 cores, 32 threads. This one is showing 6 cores, 12 threads. That's striking me as pretty decent.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Granted, the original Threadripper came out, what, 2017, 2016 at the earliest. So, yeah, I would expect it to perform at least somewhat compared to a 6-year-old processor.
Yeah. All right. What else are we interested in doing? What am I doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that on the subject computer on keyboard. So let's go back to that.
And apparently I left my resolution at 720 instead of 1080. Now everything's much clearer.
Ah. All right. I'm looking at the chat window on my right here. Oh, updates will interfere with measurements. There's probably updates running right now. And looking through chat, almost caught up all the way down. What is the RAM speed on that DDR5? I'm not sure that we have DDR5.
Well, the specifications say that it is DDR5.
The specifications in the description of the video?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, because I took that off of the
My guess would,
The
at a
computer
guess,
specs.
I would believe that it's going to be DDR5, like 4800 or 5000. I don't think it's going to be much more than that. That's a guess.
And to check on that, would it be CPU Z?
I believe so, yeah.
And also, let's see if updates are in process. Update settings.
Supposedly task
And
manager you can
broadcasting
use.
this. Pardon?
So according to the chat, some task manager might be indication of where the speed is.
We'll bring task manager up in a moment, but here's all of this stuff is pending install. Looks like nothing currently downloading. So that's probably not affecting performance. The downloads might have been happening while we at the beginning of that test. Here I'm at CPU Z. Okay. Start download. Is this for an advertisement? 3 steps. 1, click the button, start the download, start browsing, gowavebrowser.com. Nope,
No,
there's an
that's an ad.
advertisement. That's an ad. Custom versions, classic versions, cooler master, last validation. That's not CPU Z validation.
Should be any of them on the left.
Well, here's an install and config that's kind of on this header bar here. That looks,
No, scroll down.
don't think so?
No, left pane of the 3 panes, left pane.
Okay, all right. Setup English. This is zip English. Setup sounds like that's installing it, whereas
Yes,
zip
it
might
is.
be the portable.
The zip is the portable. The
Zip is
setup
the
is
portable.
the actual installation.
All right. So see, here's an advertisement. I'll close that. And then expecting that download is going to start automatically. Got that advertisement at the bottom again. Over here on the left is a download now button.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm going to need to click that. Yep. Clicking. There it goes. That's a zip file. I'll go to the parent level and just go ahead and extract all. CPU Z64. Yes, to the user account control. Over here at memory, DDR5, 16 gigabytes.
Yeah,
Anything
memory
in there?
DDR5, DRAM frequencies. It's interesting. Yeah, I'll bet that's go to the speed tab.
Bench. I don't see a speed.
SPD.
Oh, SPD. All right.
Sorry, I just automatically assume it's speed.
Yeah, I don't know what if that. Do you think that is what it actually means?
That's what it is. There it is.
They haven't abbreviated other words. Why abbreviate speed as SPD? I don't know if that's what it is.
But I was right. 4800. Not a
Yeah.
bad guess for an old fart.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing that is more your domain than me.
Well, I'm a hardware guy in the first place. Though.
Yeah,
That's
you're a
just-
hardware
that's just
guy,
me.
and I'm really not. I'm support my business offices with what they need, and the hardware is kind of a afterthought. RAM speed. So we answered that. Another comment about device encryption. I'm kind of shortcutting, not reading through as much. Serial presence detect from Wintermute is what SPD stands for. All right. That seems very believable. Wintermute has been very consistent with information that he provides us. Typically accurate. Is there anything else we're wanting to do?
I think we've beat this horse enough.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm ready to put it to bed. Yeah, but just a few moments for somebody to remind me in chat of something else I said we were going to do or promised we were going to do. If that doesn't come up quickly, then we will say goodnight, Gracie.
Sam, the 4800 stick, but 2400 clock, you have to remember it's dual data rate. So you have to multiply it by 2.
Yeah, and I think it actually showed on that screen, didn't it? Didn't it show both of those numbers? Showed it as 4800?
There is 4800. If XMP was not actually on, it would have shown it as 2400.
Okay.
Or
Bring
whatever the default speed is for DDR5.
Okay. See, there's CPU-Z is still open because I don't believe I closed it. Or did I? It's not showing on any of those panels. Okay, so then go back into downloads and open the folder. Go into CPU-Z English. There's 2 of them there. Oh, what are you laughing at?
Somebody in chat. Sometimes I wish I understood more of this stuff. I can't tell a Core i5 from a Core i25.
Oh. All you need, Ryan, is to know the stuff that is significant to your workload, what you do. I have no problem fessing up to things that I don't know very well because there are people in the community who do know it. So it was in here. There's the DDR 4800, but it also says 2400 here. That's what I was saying, where it shows both numbers.
Right.
And because it's the double clock, I think you
double
called it.
data rate.
Double data
Double
rate.
data rate. Yeah. That's what the DDR stands for, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. That rings a bell of familiarity. And Ryan says, "I'm glad I made you laugh." And yes, I know there's no Core i25. All right.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, but Jim, I think you probably know this stuff well enough that you could tell us in an I-Core processor what is somewhere close to it in the AMD family. I'm so totally lost on the AMD family.
Whether it's Kaby Lake, Skylake, etc. No, I don't pay any attention to that.
Oh,
I don't pay any attention to that. The only thing I pay attention to is does it say i5 90 something, 7 something, 10 something, 11. That's the only thing I worry about.
I stay in the Intel family just because I understand that the AMD family line. I don't argue against anybody who wants to go there. And I think I've heard them say they go there for a lower cost, but then they have to have a graphics card to deal with. I like the offices that I work with to have stable consistency. So,
well, office machines are completely different from
it is
the realm I'm used to dealing with.
A lot of people in this community are used to custom builds, and at one point, well, let's see. At one point, I had perceived that Xavier Minora was on one side or the other of that, and I don't even remember what he wound up correcting me because I was wrong at what I speculated at the time. But remember, I'm the guy that had to go back and watch his own video made in January to remember any of that stuff. It could have been somebody else. The video that I watched, that I created in January, when I watched it all the way through this morning, it could have been by somebody else. It would have been fresh content to me. Because it's not something that I need day in and day out.
Hey, Doug.
Yes.
I heard, I was listening in. I heard Jim ask about the McAfee. I was checking out that on Dell's website, that computer, the configuration, and you get I guess on the business models, you get to choose whether you want antivirus or not.
On the business model, you get to, oh yes, I could have chosen that. I could have chosen antivirus products when I was configuring the build. But I've done that on their Dell and HP's other models too. I've been able to unselect antivirus products. That's different than somebody going into a store and buying a computer off the shelf or buying one of their prepackaged computers. When I buy from Dell or HP, I usually customize, and I've typically been able to choose no antivirus and no other fluff that they want to put on. Ryan, Rainful One, name's Ryan. Thank you. The $2 super chat, or Canadian, I guess that is, for laughing at my joke about the i25. Yeah. All right. It's time to put this to bed, everybody. I'm going to come over to Zoom one last time and ask you guys to say goodbye to the audience, please. Verbally, preferably.
Goodbye.
Yeah, good night, John Boy.
Good night.
All right.
Good night, Gracie.
Get the right mouse, and I'll go shut down the Zoom session. See you guys all later. And that is ended. Come back over here to your host. It's me. Bye. Give the royal wave. My email address on the screen there. If you want to send me an email with like a suggestion for a topic on videos, or a technical issue that you're dealing with that I'll respond to in a Windows Daily episode, something along those lines. I don't typically reply to the emails, particularly with somebody asking for a particular tech support question, because I'm here for making free tech responses in videos. I see people saying goodbye in chat, so that's it. I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.